Hello and welcome back. I'm Lygo and this is My Life in Football Manager episode 41, and today we'll have a look at how the winter transfer window unfolded, and we will play 23rd position Bristol Rovers in what should be a comfortable victory. But before we get into that, if you enjoyed today's episode, leave a thumbs up, and if you want more Football Manager content on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below as well. But since the last game against Aston Villa, you can see things are still going well. We're still in 5th position. 30 games played now, 56 points on the board, and things are heating up at the top of the table. West Brom have extended a fairly reasonable lead across everybody, but again, we're in the mix for the playoffs, and this could well be the ceiling we're at, to be honest, because looking at individuals, we've still got Jero Hanlon banging in the goals, top scorer or joint top scorer in the division. Sion Spence, one of the better players, created 14 assists in 30 games, so he's doing very well. The place where we are struggling is still defensively. If I come to the stages, you can see our goal difference still okay at 20, but we've conceded 40 goals now in 30 games. Compare that to the top of the table teams, and it's probably an extra 10 or so goals more than I'd like to have conceded. And I'm thinking it is becoming a personnel issue, because we're not conceding too many chances, but when we do concede a chance, it is leading to goals. But overall, I mean, bearing in mind the board were expecting us to finish mid-table, media, bottom half, another playoff finish would be an achievement. But bearing in mind we're capping out in this position, and also if you look at the finances, we're in the red. We have got 4 million transfer budget, having sold a player, which I'll come to shortly. But I think you take a look at this wage budget, compare that to the teams around us, and they're in and around about £1 million a week. So without a big financial investment or selling one of our top players for big money, I think this is the ceiling for Sunderland. What that means moving on job-wise, who knows? West Ham are currently looking for a manager. They finished top of the table last season, currently doing okay in the Premier League. Let's have a look at that. So they're doing okay. They're outside of the relegation places. Would it be a job we want? I don't know. We've just missed the January transfer window to make additions to the squad. Is it the right time to move? I really don't know. The other job that has just become available and I have applied for is Feyenoord. I never applied for the West Ham job. They came looking for me, so who knows? We'll see. Until there's an offer on the table, we haven't got a decision to make. But let's go have a look at them transfers now. And to be honest, for us, it was a very quiet transfer window. We had 2 additions come into the squad. Firstly, Mindaugas Ivanauskas, don't know if I'm saying that correctly. He came in from New York City, young attacking midfielder. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a work permit for him, so he's gone straight out on loan. But he came on a free at the end of his contract, and I think he's a player that even if we don't get a work permit for, we can move him on for reasonable money. And secondly, another free bargain was Carl Adams from Crusaders. Deep line forward or possibly a false 9. I see him more as a deep line forward. Another young player, international experience, coming end of his contract for nothing, and he's not the best goal scorer, but he's a reasonable forward. Hopefully he can make a good partnership with somebody up front. And then looking at the outs, we were reasonably busy with players going out, but mainly it was either young players leaving or free transfers. 2 main transfers were Drew Yearwood. He's gone to Bristol City for 2.1 million. Player that he only played a couple of games for us. If I come to the history, you can see a lot better that last season after Christmas he made 6 substitute appearances, 1 league appearance, and this year a little bit more, 5 starts, 5 appearances from the bench, 2 starts in the cup, 1 substitute appearance as well. So he wasn't really getting in the team. We made a slight profit, 600,000, which probably covers his wages for the year. In hindsight, we probably didn't need him last year, but at least we've moved him on for roughly about the same money. And then the other player I didn't want to sell, but the board accepted the transfer, was Musa Dalrymple, player that we got in for free, went on loan last year to Fylde, and then he made a couple of starts this year. He made 9 starts in the league, 2 in the cups, and he was developing nicely. Brighton have come in, offered 13 million overall. I think Derby offered the same as well. The board accepted it. There's not much to say about this one. I would have liked him to have stayed, but I can see it's a huge transfer profit on a player that he was okay. He wasn't a main player for us, a ball-winning midfielder. We've got a couple of options in that midfield, so I was happy for him to move on for that amount of money as well. So that covers the transfers. I'll finish picking the team and then we'll come back for the Bristol Rovers game. This is a team we're putting out to face Bristol Rovers. Hamill continues in goal. Back three of Ugachukwu, Marquez and Umar. Shotton, Lawrence and Webber in front of them. Spence and Perry are the attacking midfielders, and then the front two of Gordon and O'Hanlon. And they're forming a nice partnership as indicated by the green line, and it's working well up front. Couple of more squad notes just to attend to. We now have Ollie Ewing back from his spell in Atalanta. He had a very good spell there. 30 games, averaging a 7.29, 9 goal contributions. I was very glad to see him come back. Unfortunately, however, he played one game and then in the second game he damaged his cruciate ligament, and that's him done for the rest of the season. Hopefully we can keep some of his ability. If not, could be a player that we could try and move on. And then secondly, a young player that's been bursting through with potential. Initially coming through our academy, didn't show any potential for probably a year or so. And every time he just keeps improving, his training reports come through, I give him a pat on the back, and he's developing into quite the centre-back. Currently 2-star ability, 5-star potential to be a centre-back in the Premier League. Eddie Sayer is going to be a player that you might see now and again. He's getting a lot of time on the bench just to ease him into games, to get in the game time. I don't really want to send him out on loan because he's developing so well here. I know he could benefit from game time lower down the leagues, but at the same time, he's a player that I want to keep around, keep developing in our squad. Also gets his mentality in the right place. So that's how things are going. Bristol Rovers 23rd in the league. Should be a reasonable win for us here. We've just beaten Oldham 3-0 at our place. Oldham are bottom of the table. So I'm hoping we can have another good showing against Bristol Rovers. That said, 20 minutes on the clock and we're only just getting our first highlight in a very wet Sunderland Stadium of Light game. And Gordon with the header headed over. Was that an easy header? It was difficult to tell. Should probably at least got it on target. And not really creating the chances that I'd like us to. We've got a free kick here just outside the area. Looks like it's going to be a shot from this distance. Perry bending it in, hits the crossbar. Ugachukwu left with a tap in, and Glenn Ugachukwu with his 5th goal of the season. In the right place at the right time. It's an initial good save by the Bristol Rovers keeper. Tipping it onto the crossbar, and fortunately we're first to the rebound. We get our goal, get ahead in the game. If we can get 3 points on the board here, really just try and cement ourselves in the playoffs. And continue pushing. If we can get automatic promotion, I'd be surprised. 2, I'd be delighted. But I think we're really up against it. There's a good 6 or 7 teams that are really battling out for promotion this year. I suppose West Brom would be the standout, but they've had a couple of wobbles. They are catchable. I don't think they're as dominant as West Ham last year. But all we can do is keep playing our game, keep improving. And we're knocking it around here, edge of the area. Gordon out to Webber out wide. O'Hanlon bounces back off the defender, ricochets around in the area, and O'Hanlon with the fine left that goes just wide of the far post. And half time, we've restricted Bristol to not having any attempts on goal, which is good, but 1-0, I'm not confident, I'm not comfortable. Send the team back out, tell them they're doing well, because they're not doing badly, but we'd like another goal or two just to make things comfortable. And we'll look to make our substitutions around the hour mark. Again, not really much happening, but we have got a free kick here. Perry whipping it into the back post. Umar, again, could have done better. Keep a little bit out of position, so could have taken advantage of that. But we'll get into the substitutions. Sion Spence I want to take off. We'll bring Anderson on for him. We've got a game against West Brom coming up, so rest Spence. I think his job's done today. And Umar not having the best game, so we can bring Eddie Sayer on. I think Eddie Sayer's left-footed, is he? Left only, so we can swap him then with Ugachukwu. Just swap them over so they're playing on the right side. Send them back out. Give them a pat on the head, and half an hour now to get another goal. A little bit concerned that we're struggling to break Bristol Rovers down. We've got an expected goal of 2, but still only leading by a goal. And that's disappointing. That's why I wanted the second goal, because 1 free kick. Bristol have not shown any ambition coming forward. And with 1 free kick, they've levelled up the game. So I'll tell you what, we'll go into the tactics, change to very attacking, and see what we can do to try and get another goal out here. I think what we'll do is move Lawrence up top, swap him and Gordon. Gordon can continue to play as that false 9, and we'll bring Colin Norton that can play as an advanced forward as well. Just go as attacking as we can. Tell them to be expressive. We don't need to continue working into the box. And just press as much as we can. Really get the ball back. And this isn't good enough. We've got to get a win here. I mean, we're at home. Playing second from bottom, Bristol Rovers, that have had 1 chance. And that man, Hugo Chukwu, saves our souls again. An outswinging corner from Perry, met by Hugo Chukwu, and there's a couple of players waiting for it, but he got there first, headed it in, past the keeper. 2 set pieces today where we scored. Could have been Sayer, it could have been Hugo Chukwu. Hugo Chukwu was dominant in the air and looks to save our bacon. Highlights continuing, Hammer with a long goal kick. If we can get a third, it'd be even better. O'Hanlon in on goal, and that's what I was expecting. Couple of goals, put us ahead, get this tie wrapped up, and then we can start to ease off. And I'm not going to change anything now, just for the last couple of minutes. If we can go get a 4th, happy days. The more goals, the merrier. But that brings us to full time. Dressing room, outstretch the arms. It was a good win. In the end, we made it hard work, but we did get there. And that pushes us up into 3rd, still a couple of points off the automatic spots, but 7 points ahead of Aston Villa outside of the playoffs. So things are looking good. Let's have a look at the schedule now, and thinking that we'll come back probably about March time. I think what we'll do is come back for the end of March. We'll do Blackburn away. They're currently down in 9th, so could potentially offer some challenge, and also it'll set us up for the run-in. So unless there's any job news, Blackburn will be next up. If you've enjoyed this episode, leave a thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel for more Football Manager content on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.